Chapter 7. Don't Get Ahead of Yourself. Vod's recollections of his great-granddaughter Anasta's life just wouldn't leave him alone, and he even chuckled a bit, recalling one particular instance. It was getting toward evening. Vod had washed his feet off in the stream and was getting ready to go to sleep when he suddenly heard a child crying. Or not even crying, but sobbing. He turned around and saw Anasta running toward him. She looked unusual. Her face was all smeared with something black, and hay was sticking out from the opening of her dress. She ran up to Vod, limping a little, sat down on the earthen mound outside, and, taking her head in her hands, began lamenting her sad state. "Oh, woe is me, Granddad. My life is just coming to an end." Now that Alon had proposed to her, the little girl wanted to grow up as soon as possible, and when she'd wake up in the morning, instead of running off to the stream pool to get washed, she'd take a straight pole, stand it up against the wall of the house, and score it to mark her height. And then, at the stream pool, before taking a dip in the water, she would look at her reflection and wonder how long it would be before she'd get breasts like the ones grown-up women have, the kind of breasts that nurse little children with. "Have a drink of water, Anastoshka, and calm down. Tell me what's happened." Anasta swallowed some water from the pitcher and, through her sobs, began telling Vod the tale of her woe. "I knew it, Granddad, I knew it. They're all crazy about Alon because he's the handsomest and the smartest. I've been worried that in the time it takes me to grow up, one of the grown-up maidens will make my Alon fall in love with her. She'll make him love her. And today, when it was just getting towards evening, I saw them, these maidens, walking into the glade toward the mountain, and they were talking about my Alon. I realized I can't wait anymore. I can't wait till I grow up. I have to take action now. And that's what I decided, and I started to take action. I took a little piece of coal and made up my eyes, the way grown-up maidens do it. Then I took a beet and painted my cheeks and my lips, and I even covered my birthmark with clay, the birthmark that's right here on my forehead." She pulled her bangs aside and showed Vod the birthmark on her forehead that resembled a tiny star. "Why in the world did you try to paint over the birthmark, Anastoshka? After all, you can't see it. Your beautiful hair covers it," asked Vod, concealing his smile. "Sure, it covers it, but when the wind blows, it comes uncovered." "Let it come uncovered. I, for example, like your birthmark very much. It resembles a little star." "Ah!" Anasta said, wailing again. "You like it, Granddad, but I don't like it one bit. It's like I'm marked somehow. Mama doesn't have a little star on her forehead, and neither does Papa, and you don't have one either, Granddad Vod. Who drew it on my forehead? Who was it that mutilated me? Ah!" "Nobody mutilated you, Anastoshka. Quite the opposite. They adorned you. If you start doing kind deeds for people, they'll start saying that this act, say, was done by the little girl with the little star on her forehead. And if you do bad deeds, people might say that was done by the little girl with the spot on her forehead. People see a person's appearance as beautiful if their deeds are beautiful." Vod stroked his great-granddaughter's head and then asked, "Anasta, tell me, why is there some hay peeking out of your dress?" "I made 2 little wads of hay and tied them up to my chest with a ribbon so my chest would be the same as the grown-up maidens. And I put hay in my shoes under my heels too so I'd be a little taller. And then, all grown up like a maiden, I went out to the glade where they get together with the young fellows. And there I saw Alon standing there with the young guys, and the maidens had gathered together a little ways away from them, and they were talking amongst themselves, sneaking glances at Alon. And Alon himself was glancing at the maidens." Once again, Anasta got all worked up and started crying again, and then went on through her tears. "I saw him, Granddad. He was sneaking glances. Sneaking glances. I knew that before long they'd get into a circle and take each other's hands, and they'd do a circle dance and sing and look at each other. So I'd be able to get into the circle too. I went up and stood next to the maidens. One of them was just staring at me. She looks and looks, and then she up and starts roaring with laughter. And the rest of them too, when they see me, and they start roaring with laughter. And all the guys standing with Alan, they were laughing too. Woe is me, Grandad Wood. I was standing there all alone, and they were all laughing and laughing, looking at me and laughing. One guy fell right over to the grass. He was rolling around and laughing. Wood looked down, trying to hide his smile, and asked, "Was Alan laughing at you too, Anastoshka?" Alan wasn't laughing at me, Grandad Wood, not at all. Alan hit me. Wood was astonished. "He hit you? What do you mean, he hit you?" "Just what I said, Grandad Wood. He hit me. First he walked up and picked me up the way you'd pick up a little child," she told him, blubbering. "And I so wanted to be a grown-up, but he picked me up like a little kid and took me behind the bushes, and he set me down on the path and said, 'Go home, Anasta. Wash up and don't be such a dummy anymore.' And I said I wouldn't. And so it would be convincing I stomped my foot a few times. Then he took me by the hand, and he spanked me. Like this and like that," Anasta said, slapping herself on the hip with her palm, all the while lamenting. "Now I'm all beaten up and unhappy and abandoned and unmarried." "What, did he take back his pendant from you?" Wood asked. "No, he didn't take it back." "Well, that means that you're still married," Wood said, reasoning with her. "All the same, even if I'm married, I'm still beaten up and wretched." "Did it really hurt so much when Alan spanked you?" Wood asked. "I don't know, Grandad, I don't know. I didn't feel any pain, but the bitter insult was stronger than any pain." "Calm down, Anastoshka. I can see that Alan spanked you out of love so that you wouldn't do things that people would laugh at you for. This means that he was shielding you from taunting in the future." "Out of love? Do people really spank you like that when they love you?" "Well, of course, it's not the best method, but perhaps at that moment Alan could not think of anything better. And you know, Anastoshka," Wood went on, untying the bundles and taking little wads of hay off of her chest, "don't try so hard to be grown up. You will grow up without making any effort at all, and at the moment you need to be thinking about other things, my dear little girl." "About what, Grandad? About what?" "You lie down on my lap, Anastoshka, and I'll sing you your favorite song, the one with no words." Anasta laid her head on Wood's lap, blubbering another time or two, and, at the very first note of the familiar tune, drifted off to sleep. The next day, Anasta ran up to Wood, joyful and excited. Before she'd even stopped running, she announced to Wood, "He came by my little home. He came by. At first I wanted to hide when I saw him through the window, but then I just sat there, quiet as a mouse, so he'd think that there wasn't anyone in the home. Alan walks up to the little home and takes a seat next to the entrance. He takes a seat, Grandad Wood, and he says, 'I know you're home, Anasta. You're a very smart little girl, a quick study, and I will wait until you become a beautiful girl. Believe me, I will wait, but don't you get ahead of yourself anymore.' And I sat there, and I didn't say a thing, and I wasn't at all mad at him anymore. I felt like running out and hugging him, and even kissing him like a grown-up, on the cheek. But I didn't do that. I sat there quiet as a mouse, so as to not get ahead of myself. Alan sat there a while longer near the entrance to my little home, and then he got up and he left. And I ran to see you, Grandad Wood, to tell you about it. And you know what else, Grandad? You know, Alan, he was sitting there at my place. When he was sitting there, he drew 3 little flowers on the wall of my little home. One bigger one, another a bit smaller, and a third, a tiny, tiny one. I saw them when I ran out. They're very pretty." Wood hugged Anasta and said, "Does that mean that you are not wretched anymore, and woe is no longer you?" "No, now I'm joyful, and I feel like making something unusual and pretty, so that everyone will look at it and be happy and say, 'Very pretty, great, good.'" And so Alon will hear that and be proud of me. That is a very correct decision that has come to you, Anastoshka. Create beautiful creations in a burst of inspiration. Only in that way can we win the love of humans.